Métis Nations 2, 3, and 4. We respect the histories, language, and cultures of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit, and all First Peoples of Canada whose presence continues to enrich our community. So I don't believe there's any members of the public. So we'll move on to the agenda. So has everybody had an opportunity to review the agenda? Depending on when people reviewed it, because I know Chris sent it out, I think he sent it out on Friday. I made one addition earlier this afternoon, which was the addition of the election for chair and vice chair for 2026. I figured we could do that at the end of the meeting as sort of the last order of business tonight. So unless there's anything else, we'll just, since we no longer, we're doing our, what's it called? Negative?
General consent.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll move on to the minutes. So did anybody have any concerns with the draft October 20th meeting minutes? Okay. All right, then we'll just adopt those, approve those. So that takes us to policy review project working group updates. So Andrew, I think you were finishing, forgive me, recommendation 4, was it?
Yeah, we're on policy 4, and Allie and I got some time to review that. For the most part, we're in line with other jurisdictions. Other places are looking for a minimum of $5 million general liability insurance, and our bylaw actually captures that. So we're going to ask Forrest kindly for his assistance and basically just summarize what we're looking to change in the document, and then ask Forrest to help us facilitate those changes. Basically, the only changes we're looking to make are just to remove any specific language out of it and just refer it back to the bylaw, so that we don't have to change the document. If there is a bylaw change, it would just refer it back to the bylaw for review. So that's the basics of the changes we're looking to make. Otherwise, it looks like it falls in lines with Ontario, Colorado, Nevada State, and British Columbia.
Okay, so that's policy for the event permits you're describing right now?
Yes.
Okay. Before we get into that, I think there was still work though to be done for the implementation of the recommendations from the fatality inquiry, right?
Yeah, so I was supposed to be working on recommendation 10.
Right. Okay, sorry. That's what I meant earlier. So yeah.
Okay, haven't touched that one yet. We were just getting through a policy review.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to share on policy 4? Okay. All right. And Rashi, you and Farrell were working on, you guys were working on recommendation 4?
I believe so. And I remember I think it was 2 meetings ago, we sent that email. And I believe at this point it would be similar, or the ask would be to Forrest to help us just kind of incorporate those pieces now. Because I think we had that discussion from what I recall, and he's not here, but like 2 meetings ago, we kind of went over what our questions were. We had talked about liability, and I don't have my notes in front of me right now, so I'm just kind of going on recollection, but that's really it. We didn't really have any other concerns or issues with it.
Okay. Farrell, do you have anything to add?
Sure. The recommendation by myself and Rashi was reviewed. We discussed it. We also looked at other items. I did research in Nevada, and I think we're ready to say to the city of Edmonton, the Combative Sports Commission, that we want it passed. And that's as simple as that. Thank you.
Okay. So Forrest, perhaps, and I'm not sure what work has been done already for because, correct me if I'm wrong, implementing recommendations 4 and 10 will require some amendments to, is it regulations 1 and 8?
That would be, I'm just reviewing it. It would be changes to regulation 8, which is medical. I believe that is it for that one. And then maybe what we're getting mixed up with is the recommendation 8 from the province also ties into that same medical.
Okay. So right now, so we only need to make amendments to regulation 8 then. So perhaps we can take you up on your previous offer you've made in the past to come back for maybe the December meeting with some proposed language for the amendments to give effect to those recommendations.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll take it even a step further. What I'll do with Rashi and Farrell is I will draft this up the same way it is within the kind of captures the way it is within the implementation plan, and I'll send you a copy just to review and make sure you're happy with it, and then you can take it forward from there. And if you need any changes, by all means, fire it back to me, and make sure I've got the language meeting your I guess your interests.
Thank you, Forrest.
Thank you, Forrest. Okay. So does anybody else have any other updates with respect to the policy review project? No. Okay. All right. So we'll move on to the chair's report then. So it's only been 3 weeks since we had our last commission meeting on October 20th. So Forrest and Andrew and I did not have our usual monthly chair, vice chair, executive director meeting. As far as the municipal commissions meetings goes, the next one is actually scheduled for this Thursday, November 13th. It is my intention to attend. I blocked it off in my calendar, so I should be able to make this month's meeting. And we'll report back next month with whatever's discussed. In terms of other updates on my end, I still am working on the membership report and recruitment campaign package, which is due December 7th. And today the city emailed me advising that a candidate shortlisting meeting is scheduled for March 16th, 2026. So presumably the next chair would attend that meeting, not myself. And then in the meantime, I've gotten several emails over the last about month and a half, although I never really looked at it particularly closely until recently. So the city is currently working on what's called a governance framework for all the various municipal council committees, including us. So what this new governance framework, the biggest change I've noted in it is that they're proposing that the various municipal committees, including the commission, will be on a 4-year governance cycle. And that's 4-year cycle is meant to align with the terms of city council. So every committee, including ours, is expected to abide by a terms of reference that have to be adopted within the first year of the new council's term. And from there, in past years, we have had our work plan, but now the work plan is supposed to be drafted in such a way to map out literally 4 years worth of work. So we're going to have to do a bit of, it's been a while since we looked at our work plan. So we are going to have to set aside some dedicated time to look at our work plan, figure out what we want to kind of accomplish over the span of 4 years, whereas in the past we've typically only done 1 or 2 years for the work plans. And then lastly, the annual reporting that the chair is responsible for presenting to city council once a year will continue, but it's meant to be sort of a progress update on where each of the committees are on their 4-year work plan. So I'm going to look into this a little bit further. Currently, the framework has not been officially adopted. It's still a draft, but I'm going to keep a close eye on it because obviously, if it gets passed, we're going to have to action both, working with city administration for getting this terms of reference in place, as well as, mapping out our 4-year work plan, which will be, probably a little bit of a endeavor itself. And I know in past years, we've done in 2020, 2022, and 2023, we did retreats for the purpose of, kind of mapping out the work that we want to do as a commission. So I think that's something we might want to consider in 2026, having a retreat for the purpose of planning out, what goals the commission wants to accomplish over the years to come. And like I said, the municipal commission meeting is scheduled for this Thursday, and that's all I have for this month's chair's report. So subject to any questions anyone may have, I'll turn it over to Forrest and he can do the executive director's report.
Thank you for that. I was just setting some time aside for those policy revisions. We'll talk more about those because I see some opportunities to perhaps align a couple more of the provincial recommendations there at the same time, just for efficiency's sake. But yeah, I'll move to my my plan here. Here we are. So first things first, as far as previous items arising, we did actually have a appointment lined up, myself and Keith Scott, who is our permanent director. Some of you may have heard me refer to a different supervisor who's temporarily in place, but Keith is returning from kind of a secondment. And we were to meet at TD this past Thursday, where we were going to sign over to have $250,000 transferred over, as we discussed. But unfortunately, we received a call earlier that day that it looks like they need to transfer some original documentation over from one branch to another to allow that to happen. And they didn't want us showing up and finding out that it could cause some problems. So I was appreciative of it because we have gone to a few where it turned out to be there for no reason. So they've just postponed it, and I received an email earlier today from TD where they basically said that it should be ready to go for Wednesday. They're going to call me back and we should be able to schedule it for hopefully next week and have all of that taken care of and signed off. The reason Keith would be invited too is we have a double signature requirement, especially with large scale changes like that. So it should happen soon. Yeah, I was quite pleased once I made contact with this one senior advisor there. So I think that'll be coming soon. As far as no further updates on the events or anything like that, so we can scroll down. As far as website, we have, I believe, requested the updates. Chris is going to be having all of the content that we've missed over the past few months with the elections that we weren't able to update, have that added to the site. So it'll simply be our agendas, meeting minutes, things like that. No huge changes, just more getting it up to date. The executive director undertakings, other ones, the dinner is booked. Right now we're sitting at 17 guests. I think we worked out to the right number there. If we do end up having anyone, not able to attend, go sick, whatever, I believe we just end up forfeiting that cost, as they have some pretty tight policies there as far as due dates and so on, and we've already passed those. So that's that. The draft regulation was what we discussed last time, just as far as the regulations I've shared, and I'm looking forward to, I guess, getting that implemented at some point. Yeah, I guess my purpose for that is to push it to hopefully have somebody raise a motion and get some work done. I believe these recommendations from the province came last November. We submitted a a response to the province in March accepting them, and I believe it was June or July that that they were rolled out to the commission with an implementation plan. So we would like to get these going. You know, I think at this point, unfortunately, if we were to have an event announced the next short little while, like they can happen as soon as 45 days, we would still be operating likely on outdated information and not bringing in the fatality recommendations, which I think really that is the main job of the commission, is to be updating and, you know, having the most up-to-date and industry best practices type policies available. So anything I can do to kind of help get that going, I would be appreciative, because yeah, I would like to be able to, you know, if we see a concern with a potential, you know, unrecovered athlete coming in, right now we'd be hard pressed with some of our policy that's not up to the levels that we're hoping to get it to. So again, anything I can do to push that forward, if I can create a policy like this, bring it forward to this commission, if somebody agrees with it, you raise a motion, have it voted on, that's something that you as a commission can do. I'd be appreciative. Andrew.
Is that regulation ready to go?
It is.
Okay, then I'm going to strongly suggest that if you could please send that out to everybody, and that's everybody's homework for the next meeting. Looking to review and approve that by the next meeting, so everybody can take a chance to read that over and come with notes for the next time. That'd be awesome.
Thank you.
No, I agree. Thank you, Andrew. So, because that's all that's in the executive director report, there's a link that'll take you right to it. So as Andrew said, everybody please review it ahead of next month's meeting, and then somebody can introduce a motion to adopt it, or we'll discuss it, I should say. And then once we've ironed it out, we can hopefully get that in place ASAP.
Thank you. And it is the same regulation sent out to everyone by email on October 21st. So there's been no changes since that time, but ready to go. Okay. Yeah. As far as the Alberta Commission's update, I think Trevor's already talked about that. So I will skip down to the Canadian Commissioners Committee update. I did attend their last meeting, but I was only there for a short time as I had some conflicting meetings. So I didn't get a whole lot of information from that one. And our next meeting is November 12th. So I should have something for next month for you. And other than that, I do not have anything else to report at this time.
All right. Thank you, Forrest. Does anyone have any other questions for Forrest?
Yes, I do. It's Farrell Shadlin, Commissioner. I'd like you to go back to the first item, and with all due respect, I'd like you to explain it a little more succinctly, because I quite frankly didn't understand what you were talking about.
You're talking the downtown TD branch?
Item number 1, whatever that is I can't see it on my little screen. What was that?
Okay, that was a meeting with the downtown TD branch, and that is for the opportunities to invest $250,000 of the commission's money into I've forgotten the actual term for it. I can look it up in the emails here, but basically we would be investing that with TD.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's very conservative. That's good. Next one.
Sorry, the boxing event? Is that where we're going to next?
Is that I can't see anything up there. It's just you're talking about something that just went over my head. So boxing event, go ahead.
Just that we hadn't received any further updates from that event. It's still, as far as I know, still tentatively planned. Nothing, no changes with that one.
Okay. I can't see any items there. It's too small. Next item.
Okay, Farrell, you want me to go through items and just mention whether there's nothing to report, or just the items that we had something to discuss?
I'm trying to see it best I can on the screen, and it's not coming up.
Well, it's going to look really small on a phone. You can just pull up in a separate window and open that executive director report yourself.
Okay, here's what we'll do. I have no further questions, except for you talked about an event that would be more like a social event. That was my second question, but you didn't mention the date, the time, or the place.
Oh, that would have been the dinner that we discussed last meeting. So it's not something I would discuss with this being recorded in public, but we can certainly discuss it afterwards. But it would be all in relation to the emails that were sent following it. So it's booked for the 18th.
18th of November?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
that's it. Great.
Oh, I think you're muted there, Trevor.
Sorry, before we move on to the financial statements, there's one item that I forgot to include in the chair's report. So our next meeting, I believe, is scheduled for December 8th, and I was going to ask the commission if everyone would be willing to possibly push it back a week to December 15th. I have to go up to Grand Prairie for the week of December 8th to 12th for work. I have a week-long arbitration hearing, so I would not, like, I'll be driving to Grand Prairie that night and wouldn't be able to attend. So just
December 18th was suggested. That is fine for me. Thank you.
December 15th.
15th, no problem.
Is everybody okay if we moved it to the 15th? In particular, Chris, you, because we can't have a meeting without you present.
We are all good.
Okay. All right. Nobody else has any concerns?
No, all good.
Okay. Okay. So Forrest, if nobody else has any questions for Forrest concerning the executive director's report, we'll move on to the September 30th financial statements. So whenever you're ready, Forrest.
Sure. Thank you. I'm assuming since Chris pulled up the ED report, there you go. Just making sure that's following along. Thank you for that, Chris. Appreciate it. Moving down here, we see liabilities due to the city of Edmonton are very similar amount to last time, but you will notice that we do have accounts payable for $36.23. I'm going to look into that and determine what that amount is, as I'm not seeing in my line items that I can look at kind of with a little bit more granularity behind the scenes. So I will request what exactly that one is to determine that. It could be I'm sure
That's the
guessing that
that's the first of our repayments, reimbursements for the ABC conference.
is it. Do we have I wasn't able to see it in the line item. Do we have a particular individual that was being paid for that? Because I wasn't sure if it was that or if it was for the for my trip to Moncton.
I am not sure. I don't see them. Well, I don't have the line items up on this one.
Okay, thanks, Chris. And I do believe Chris is right. It's going to be one of those two. It's just I wasn't able to find it when I looked through earlier on the other ones. So as we scroll down further, I'll have an update for you on the next meeting as to what exactly that amount is. As we scroll down further, we can see that there's not a significant amount of change. We have interest of $46. And then we have travel, training, and hosting outside of Canada for $39.83, and that is actually for our two officials that were sent away to the UFC opportunity and the ABC training. So I was able to confirm that amount. And that is it. So we can scroll back up. Our accumulated surplus at this time is $357,579. Any questions on that? And
A quick question: was Nate paid out for his expenses? I don't see him on the line.
So Farrell, these are from September. These financial statements.
Yeah, no, I'm asking because August was the New Orleans trip, and I remember Nate said he submitted. He called me and said he hadn't been reimbursed. I'm just asking.
Yeah, but we discussed it at the October commission meeting that none of us had been paid back yet.
Oh, so the question is, when will the individuals be paid back who submitted their receipts?
Well, I haven't received, the last time I checked my banking, I hadn't received my payment yet.
I haven't received any yet.
I really have no problem because that's not important to me. I'm just saying, for those that have submitted it, what's the time frame for the city to reimburse?
I would say the time frame is going to be very close, just because my training to Moncton, I just was reimbursed that last week, and I believe mine was a week ahead. So it should be right around this week or the next.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
I know it is a slow process, unfortunately. At the end of the day, we forward off things to different departments, and they do take some time to get signatures and get turned around.
Perfect. Thank you for your answer.
I had my hand up and I put it down. That was my only question for you, Forrest, or for Chris. It was just really like, do we expect all those expenses to hit before the end of the year? And it sounds like we do. So that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so unless anybody else has any questions for Forrest, I assume you're finished with that, right, Forrest? Then we can move on to the last agenda item, which is election of a new chair and vice chair for 2026. Previously, we used to have our term for chair and vice chair go from May 1st to April 30th, but in 2022, the commission voted to move it to calendar year. So, as we discussed at last month's meeting, we would do the election tonight. So I had indicated at last month's meeting that I was going to be nominating Andrew for the position of chair. So does anybody else want to put their name forward for the position of chair?
Can I nominate you again, Trevor?
Well, I'm going to decline. As much as I love the commission and would be more than happy to, I think I'm stretching it if I was going to ask the city of Edmonton to for city council to give me an 8th year. I think that's getting into somewhat unprecedented territory. So
I'll jump in here. I think that's very gracious of you, Andrew. If Trevor's nominated you, I would support that. Please understand that Trevor has extended his term by 1 extra year, which is very unusual. So that being said, with all the admiration you have for Trevor and the wonderful work he's done for 6 years, I think it's time that he stepped down, and perhaps, Andrew, you take over the leadership, and I would support you on that, Andrew.
I appreciate that. Literally anybody else that wants to do it, please raise your hand.
all right.
So I think you'd be excellent. And the next person I guess we have to hear about is who is the vice chair. And Trevor, you want to assist us in this?
Yeah. So, well, why don't we do the vote first for Andrew? So, like I said, unless anybody else wants to put their name forward, can I get a vote for who agrees that Andrew should be chair for 2026? Chris, can you stop sharing the screen so that I can see, so that everybody can see each other? Thank you. Okay. I think that's good. So congratulations, Andrew. So
Thanks, everyone.
All right. So in terms of the position of vice chair, I was going to nominate Rashi. But if anybody else is interested in putting their name forward for the position of vice chair, please speak up now.
I just want to know if Farrell will be interested in the vice chair. Are you interested in that, Farrell, or no? You're not?
I think at this time, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you.
we can hear you.
Thank you very much, Nate. I think Rashi would be wonderful as vice chair if she'll accept and take on all the responsibilities, and I would support her wholeheartedly.
Thank you, Farrell. Can I get a vote then? Who
You
votes?
have to hear from Rashi if she'll accept.
Yeah, of course. Rashi.
With all the reluctance in the world, yes, I will accept that.
Good.
Thank you. All right. Does anyone else before we do a vote for Rashi for vice chair? Okay, all in favor of voting for Rashi for the position of vice chair? Okay, congratulations, Rashi. So that brings us to the end of the meeting. So Rashi and Andrew, if either of you want to have sort of an onboarding meeting for those positions, we can try to arrange something before the end of December, but we can talk about that. In the meantime, as we've agreed, next meeting will be December 15th, and then the holiday dinner is scheduled for next Tuesday, November 18th. So I hope to see all of you there.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone. I'll motion to adjourn.
All right, sounds good.
Good night.
Okay, have a good night,
Good night,
everyone.
evening.
Thank you.
Of course, can you hang on for one minute?
Yeah, I was going to hang out with you.